Our second method of graphing is graph using intercepts. So now that we know how to find the intercepts, we'll use those to graph. So we'll find the x-intercept. We're going to do that by letting y equal 0. So let y equal 0. And so we're going to have x minus 2 times 0 equals 4, or x equals 4, because 2 times 0 is 0. So we have the point 4 comma 0. And then we're going to find the y-intercept by letting x equal 0. And so we get 0 minus 2y equals 4, or negative 2y equals 4. Divide both sides by negative 2, and we get y equals negative 2. So the y-intercept is 0, negative 2. Oops. Okay, now that's great. Usually, a lot of times I'll write these equations so it's not too difficult to find the intercepts. So we found them. We can graph them. 4, 0, so go over 4 to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 0, negative 2, 0, negative 2, right there. But we only have 2 points, and we'd really like a third point. So we kind of do a third point just to check. So we're going to take our equation, x minus 2y equals 4, and we're just going to pick a number. You can pick it for either x or for y. Maybe I'll pick, I can't pick that. I'll pick 1. For the y, okay? So I'm going to let y equal 1. It doesn't really matter if you pick x or you pick y. Just pick a value, and then it's like you're doing a table of values, but we're just finding one more point. Okay, so x minus 2 times 1 equals 4. X minus 2 equals 4. So add 2 to both sides. And we get x equals 6. So another ordered pair would be 6 comma 1. Now I picked the y value in this case because it had the 2 times. So I thought it would be easier to get that more complicated part solved with the value. Okay, but you could pick it for x as well. It's okay if we get fractions. We just want a third point to see if we made a mistake, if all the points are lining up. So we already graphed this point. That was the x-intercept. We graphed the y-intercept, and now we're going to graph this third point and see if it lines up with the other two. Okay, so we go to 6, 1, and yeah, that looks like they line up pretty good. Well, it's nice if I can draw through the points. Let's draw a thicker line. Okay, well, a ruler helps. Okay, so that's it's called the graphing, or the intercept method of graphing. So we're graphing using intercepts. So we have another example. So we'll find the x-intercept. That means y is going to be 0. So you're going to have 5x minus 2 times 0 equals 10. Or 5x equals 10. See how that 0 for y kind of just drops out that term. And so divide both sides by 5. And you get x equals 2. Now you have to remember it's the x-intercept, so 2 comma 0. And then find the y-intercept. And we're going to let x equal 0, so 5 times 0 minus 2y equals 10, or negative 2y equals 10. Now divide by negative 2, and so we get y equals negative 5, and so that's going to be the point 0, negative 5. And then I have to find a third point just to make sure everything's going well. I think I'll just pick, what do I want to pick? I'll just pick 1 for x. So I have 5x minus 2y equals 10. And I'm going to let x equal 1. I don't know what's going to happen, but we'll see. Probably nothing too exciting. Again, I would pick a fairly small number. Okay, so I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides. I'm just solving an equation like we did in chapter 2. And then I'm going to have to divide by negative 2. So it didn't work out evenly, like to an integer, but that's okay. So I have this third point, 1 comma negative 5 halves. Okay, so it's not too bad of a fraction. Okay, so let's graph those 3 points. 2, 0, so that's the x-intercept right there. 0, negative 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right there. And then that third point, I'm just checking to see, is it in line with the other points? So it's saying 1 and negative 2.5, which is like right there. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Ooh, a fairly straight line form. Okay, great. So that's how we graph using the intercept method. Oh, we have another one. Graph using the intercepts. Okay, well this time we have y equals 4x. So when I do the x-intercept, and I'm letting y be 0. Okay, so 0 equals 4x. Divide both sides by 4. And I get 0 equals x. So I get the point 0, 0 because 0 is y and 0 turns out to be x. So it's going through the origin. Now, if somebody asks you, what's the x-intercept, you'd say 0, 0. And if they say, what's the y-intercept, you'd say 0, 0. So I'm not going to even bother writing out the y-intercept. We already know what it is. It's going through the origin, so that's the intercept for both the x and the y, okay? Well, we only have 1 point, so we're going to have to find some more points. So we'll just have to pick some numbers. Maybe I want to pick, I'll let x equal 1. So y equals 4 times 1, or y equals 4. And so that gives me the point 1 comma 4. And I have to pick another point. I'm going to pick for x again. You could have it be negative. Let's do negative 2. You could just do a regular 2. We get to pick. We just want it to fit on our graph paper. Okay, so we're letting x be negative 2, so we plug in the negative 2 into the equation for x, and we get y equals negative 8. And so we have a third point, negative 2, negative 8. And if those 3 points line up, then that'll be great. Okay, so we already graphed 0, 0, so now we need 1, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then negative 2, negative 8, so down, or left 2 and down 8. And do the 3 points line up? Yeah, they line up pretty good. And there's my line. Okay, I think that's it.